Today we're looking at the complexity, the intricacy, and the necessity of being born again. Who would have thought that the Psalms would be talking about being born again? And yet here in Psalm 87, it speaks about this very thing. I'm going to read from verse 4 to 6. It says, "They will point and say, 'This man was born in Zion.' Indeed, of Zion it will be said, 'This man and that man were born in her.' And the Most High Himself will establish her, and the Lord will count and write in the book, 'This man was born in Zion.'" In the book of life. That's where your name gets written when you're born again. 3 times Psalm 87 says the individual must be born in Zion. So it shouldn't have been a surprise to Nicodemus when Jesus said to him, "You must be born again." Yet Nicodemus struggled with the notion of entering a new life. The old man, especially the old religious man, will always resist the new, because being born again requires the death of all that is old, an end to the old, so that you can embrace the new. Your only hope of finding true recognition in life is through being born again. That's why this psalm says something striking about the person that is born again. It says that they will be acknowledged by the nations of the world that this one was born in Zion. Now the word used here for man is not Adam. That's the common Hebrew word that is used for man. But the word used here is ish. Ish implies importance. It implies significance. It implies a force. So this is telling us that through being born again, you discover significance. You discover a new power, and through that, you find recognition. Many people cannot figure out who they really are. Often this is because of years that they spend being people pleasers and pretending to be whatever would get us accepted in society and whatever would help us to get on in the world around us. I tell people, don't worry about who you think you are. Don't worry about what others think you are. The truth is that until you're born again, the only knowledge you have of who you are is by identifying what you're not. God alone knows who you are. And when you're reborn, you can commence the journey to becoming everything that God says you are. Being born again trips an internal recalibration process, causing our identity to change. The catalytic converter is right at the core of your being. You can't hope to become the person God designed you to be without this catalytic converter being started up and affecting your life and bringing about the activation of a whole new you. It's so new that the only way that you can describe it is being born again. This is so crucial because any change in your behavior must begin with a change in who you are, because who you were was never going to be able to make it anyway. So your new birth changes how you view yourself. It changes your identity. And once your identity is changed, that affects how you view the whole world around you. Your whole world view is changed. Prior to being born again, you can only see yourself according to the matrix of the world. Once you're born again, your identity becomes rooted in Jesus. It's a spirit thing. Flesh gives birth to flesh, that's the old you, and spirit gives birth to spirit, that's the new you. Outside of that, outside of being born again, you struggle against all of the titanic forces of evil in this world, trying to run your life according to the rules of this world, measuring yourself against one another, trying your hardest to compete with the best of the rest, and hoping that that things go your way. Maybe they'll go your way every now and again. And so you boost yourself up whenever you feel as though you're doing better than somebody else. But that's not how God has designed you to be. God has designed you a totally new you. You don't need to compare yourself with others. You're born again. Your identity is found in Christ. Your identity is above, not down here below. So only the born again really stand out from the crowd, because everybody else is involved in this competitive affair. Only the born again can stand out from the crowd, because you leave the crowd behind and you become truly who you are. That's why society will look at you enviously and, according to this psalm, say, my, you can tell that one was born in Zion. And then I just need to mention briefly verse 7 of this psalm, because it's too beautiful to leave out. It says, all my springs are in you. Whether or not you experience exhaustion will depend on where you get your supplies. The foundation of your love and affection and ministry resides in Jesus. You must continually remember where your source of power is. You might find yourself from time to time exhausted in your service for God, but remember, He is your supply. He is your supply. Don't go looking for it through any entertainment of the world. That's not going to help. Look to Jesus. He is the source of everything that you need. All my springs are in you, O Lord. He supplies all your need according to His riches in glory. So I pray today that you'll find a way of tapping into the glory of God and finding your resources in Him. May He give to you new life. May He give to you everything that you need. May you find yourself living with a strong, vibrant identity in Christ, and living your life with such fervor and such vigor, such vibrancy, such joy, such strength, such power, such victory, that people will look at you and marvel and go, my, that person, that's a mountain man, that's a mountain woman. They've been born again in Zion.